Le webinaire va bientôt commencer. Veuillez rester en ligne. Le webinaire va bientôt commencer. Veuillez rester en ligne. Le webinaire va bientôt commencer. Veuillez rester en ligne. Le webinaire va bientôt commencer. Veuillez rester en ligne. Le webinaire va bientôt commencer. Veuillez rester en ligne. Le webinaire va bientôt commencer. Veuillez rester en ligne. La diffusion vient de démarrer. Tous les participants sont en mode écoute seul.
Okay. Testing 1 2 1 2. Let me know if you can hear me, and let me know if you can see the screens. Okay, great. All right. So let's get started. Welcome, everybody. It's going to be 2022, our New Year's celebration, JOBB 10.0 software coming out, and we have a lifetime upgrade opportunity. My name is Lee Goldstein. This is going to be a little bit different of a presentation. I want to thank everybody for being here. I'm going to talk about why we feel this week is so special. And we're also looking to trade the API report. So this is going to be a little bit different. We have our New Year's presentation intermingled with a real trade. So it's going to be different. It should be fun. I have the pleasure, obviously, to me, it is a pleasure breaking down all the ins and outs of our secret weapon. For over 9 years, we've been working on JOBB software. I've always told the funny story when I got here, what the software was like, what our trade room was like. We didn't have a trade room. But before we start, we really want to thank everybody for giving us your time. We have a free gift worth over $6,000, which I'm going to give everybody today. If you stick around, listen to the presentation, try to pay attention. We're going to teach a lot. And then at the end, I'll give you the gift and help you to prosper in a way that we think is going to be an awesome 2022. We feel that we have a fantastic tool to help everybody do that. And that's the focus of what we're doing here today. Naturally, of course, we have to do a disclaimer. It is possible to lose money trading futures, so please trade carefully and don't trade money you cannot afford to lose. Just as a reminder to everybody that we trade futures. Currently, we're trading on the Ninjatrader platform. So it's not a stock trading program. It's not Forex. You can actually trade other instruments with our software that many people don't know that. But our focus and all of the testing that we've done is essentially futures with our software. So, you know, the big question is, who am I? Why should you even listen to me? Why should you even care what I say? So my name is Lee Goldstein. Like I said, I'm the trading director at 10-Minute Trades. I'm definitely a musician at heart. I went to college for music, and I've been playing in bands my whole life. I've been a performer. I grew up in New York. I was born in New York, and I moved to Boston in the early 70s. I'm giving away my age here. I went to school in Boston. I played in bands. I drove taxis. I learned to tune pianos. I really struggled to try and find something that I was interested in. And I eventually moved back to New York City, and I bought a used Radio Shack TRS-80 computer. I don't know if anybody even remembers those computers. And that was the defining point in my life. My life changed when I bought that computer. It came with a fantastic, friendly little owner's manual, and Clip, you still have yours. That's probably worth a lot of money now. And it had a fantastic, easy to learn programming manual, how to use it. And the first day that I started fooling around with that computer, I got hooked. And as time went by, I had a store in New York City. We sold video games, and one day a customer walked into the store carrying a synthesizer, and he explained to me, hey, you can hook this synthesizer up to a computer, and now you have a recording studio at home. And it's kind of how I got hooked on computers. Then I started helping my mom with her investments, and that's how I wound up here. Hooked on computers. They changed my life. Technology, music, it all fits together. So why appointment-based trades? So for me, that was really easy. I love trading, and I'm hooked on trading like so many of you, but I hate being in the market, not all day. I hate being in the market. I want to be in the market as little as possible, because it took me a while, and it took me, to lose a fair amount of money. But once I realized the less I trade, that was the key to trying to make and being able to make more money. Being in the market for the shortest amount of time, for me at least, and for many other people I know, is a better way to trade. So much of trading can be boring. You sit around for hours waiting for the setup. If you blink at the wrong time, you got to go to the restroom, you miss the trade. I just couldn't stand trading that way. So I love appointment-based trading because it gives me my life back. It gives me time with my family. I love the flexibility. I love being able to make an appointment. I love knowing when I'm going to trade. I love having a schedule, and it gives me time to still do all the music I want to do, spend time with my kids when they can tolerate me. And I love trading events because it's exciting, it's fun, they're never boring. You can research them. It's a whole different way of trading. I like it way more than waiting for setups. And it's not hard to understand. Anybody can learn it, and it doesn't take forever. So people, you know the routine, folks. Everybody says the same things. Well, if you're so great, if you're such a great trader, you wouldn't teach because you would just make all the money you ever needed to make, and you just wouldn't waste your time teaching. So if you're smart, you know that's not true. Because first of all, I'm doing both. I'm trading and I'm teaching, and I love teaching how to do this. It's fun. It also makes me a better trader. Anytime you teach anything, it makes you concentrate better. It makes you learn more about what you're teaching, why things happen the way they're supposed to, and it definitely ups the quality of what you're doing. And I teach because of dozens of success stories from our members. I'm not going to spend today's webinar showing you screen after screen of winning trades from us and or from our members, okay? But just because there's probably a couple of people that don't know us, here's one fairly recent screen from a member who made $700 on a recent jobs report. Okay, it might have been a couple of months ago, but I've got screenshots from the most recent jobs report. You all know that I can supply a million screenshots. That's not the point of this webinar today. You've seen them all. If you want to see the screenshots, honestly, there's a section in this webinar where I have a few screenshots. I'm going to shoot over it because we've done it a million times. But I love getting the screens from members when they make money trading with us. It's fantastic. And it's not always with us. Sometimes they're trading on their own and they're, sending me an email. Hey, that daily report that you sent really worked for me today, and this is what happened. Not everybody trades the same way. Not everybody comes into the trade room, although that's a big mistake in my opinion. And everybody's different. And that's one of the attractions of trading also. It's so different for everybody. Nothing is the same or everything is the same. I know you know what I mean if you're trading. Everything ABT, what does that mean? Everything, all about everything appointment-based trading, right? All about appointment-based trading. The 4 elements that we talk about in our webinars all the time. The weekly schedule that's free. The daily market, the daily trade reports, DMMs, the Pro Trade Room, and our software. This is an example of a weekly schedule. This is a pretty normal weekly schedule. It's got our trade room schedule. What time does the room open is clearly shown, and it has whether or not there's going to be a DMM associated. Will there be a daily report associated with this particular event? Sometimes there are. Most of the times there are, but sometimes they're not. And it's also got when we're streaming on YouTube, risk potential of the trade, and the instrument we're looking at trading. So the daily schedule, the weekly schedule is very valuable. And right now that's free. All you have to do is go to our website, www.10minutetrades.com. Opt in for the video. I want to find my free 10-minute trades, and it'll sign you up for the free weekly schedule. It's real easy. Then we've got daily reports. Okay, today we're going to segue into the API report in a couple of minutes. And this is the actual DMM. If there were a DMM this week and last week are holiday weeks. There are no DMMs at the last 2 weeks of the year. Most people are not trading. Last week we had a few trades. This week, really, we're just looking at this one report. And if the market doesn't look safe to trade, I'm not here to trade real money necessarily. I'm here to show how our software works. And we can show that whether the market is safe to trade. If it's too risky to trade, we'll pass it up. It's totally up to me at the last minute whether we're going to trade real money or not. And it doesn't matter. You have to realize I don't recommend that you trade real money this week because the volume is low, liquidity is low anyway this time of day trading oil. But the important thing is this is our daily trade report, and this particular report has been a family money trade. It's been in the corner being punished for the past month and a half or so because it's been much more difficult to trade lately. But the last two trades, interestingly enough, have been winners. The two before, there's a couple of trades that are not in the journal. This is a mini journal that's part of our daily trade report. This is a weekly event, so you could see the individual weeks, what happened. November 30th, we had a winner. The 23rd, we had a winner. The 16th of November, we had a loser. And it also explains what our setup is with this yellow line, the way that we're going to trade it. Those daily market reports are element number 2. And why do these reports work? These reports work because news is released at a specific time. We determine the instrument that we're going to trade, and then the markets react to that news moving up and down based on the news event when it gets released. Most news that we trade is released very specifically, okay? In other words, US GDP is released 8:30 in the morning on a specific day that they tell us, and they tell us in advance. And you can count on the fact most of the time that it's going to be released in a reliable fashion. We also trade earnings, and earnings is one of the unique things that our software can do. We have a very special way that we trade earnings on the FANG stocks: Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. We also trade Microsoft sometimes and Intel, looking at Tesla now possibly. We have a way of using our software to trade futures as a proxy for some of the stocks that we want to trade earnings. And we've got a very unique way of doing that. And we've actually modified our software so it could do that. The earnings, the reason I brought them up is they are not released the same time all the time. So earnings are more challenging because the time that they release them is not exact. They basically say, well, we're going to release Netflix earnings after the close, and they may come out 401, 402, 403. And that makes a big difference because we trade on a very specific schedule. So what I'm going to do is temporarily pause my slideshow. Now, let me think. I didn't think this through as perfectly as I should have, but that's okay. So I've got my screens up, my normal Ninjatrader screens up for the markets. It's a crude oil report, and this is kind of a unique crude oil report. And I just have to prepare one extra thing. So we have tools that we use to trade. The first thing that we have is the DMM, the Daily Market Report. Now, remember what I said, there was not a DMM for today. So look, we're not changing the way that we trade this today. It's trading the same way that we normally trade it over the past 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks. So I'm just going to pull up a very recent daily report, and I'm going to use that to explain the way that I'm trading this trade. So the first thing, this is our daily report, and the yellow line tells me that's my starting point for how I might be trading this particular report. We have a special way that we trade today, and it's called a range trade. Most of our trades are just breakout trades. In other words, we put the time in 4:30 and 1 second, and the news gets released. There's a burst or a drop in the price. and bingo, the trade usually is over, sometimes in a matter of seconds. Now, I want to preface this. You know, I'll show you the liquidity that's available in the market today, and I will say it multiple times. Do not judge me on whether or not we make money today. This is a day that most people, we would recommend that most people don't trade the market. It's not a smart week to trade. The edge of trading is not on your side. So it's very important to understand that. I'm tempted, very tempted to trade live so you could see a real live trade. But there's a very good possibility that I could easily lose money on this trade. Okay, so I just want to make it clear that don't judge us on whether or not we make money or don't make money on this trade. This just to show you a little bit of truth. This is last week's API report, and it takes place at 4:30. It was December 21st. And I just want to show you it. The price shot down. Ironically, I was having a technology problem last week with my computer, and I did not trade, and I missed a winning trade. If you'll watch, our software creates a range right there. The news gets released right about now. It's probably, the news is known to the market. You can see the price drop down, and I have one target, and the price is going to get to my target. I just wanted you to see it backs up a little bit, but it continues down, easily hits the target. Last week would have been a nice winning trade. In fact, people in our trade room made money. You know, just because I was having a technology issue doesn't mean someone else was. And every now and then you could have something that isn't going right. And if something's not going right, you don't trade. You just watch, okay? If you're ever having an issue, you're always better play safe. There's a million more trades coming up. So one of the things we wanted to show is how easy it is for our software to set up a trade. So we use Ninjatrader. You just click on the word strategy. We double click on the names of our program. And then I'm just going to go through the various settings. If you know what an ATM is an automated trading program that's part of your platform, and it sets up your stops and your targets and whether your stop moves or doesn't move. But our software is a super ATM. It's automated trade management is what it stands for, I believe. And instead of learning how to write a complicated ATM program, you don't have to. Our software just lets you fill in the blanks, so to speak. So the first thing I'm going to do, and because we know that many of these items are default, meaning they don't get changed. So the first thing I know that I have to think about is we're trading a range trade. So I have to think about entries in the range area of the software. Ticks above the range are going to be 3. Ticks below my range are going to be 3. And I'll explain what I mean by that. I want my graphics to show up on the chart. In other words, I want my range to show up. And I'm going to change the color of my range. This is personal. No one even needs to do it. I just want to be able to see it. And the important thing is we're creating a range with time, okay? We're creating a range that's going to start. We know that this is an event that takes place at 4:30 Eastern time, 16:30. Okay, we use military time so we can have a 24-hour setup with different trades and different times all over the world. So my range, I'm going to start generating a range at 16:29 and 58 seconds. In other words, 4:29:58. I'm only going to look for one position, okay? One target. I'm going to look for 13 ticks. So position size 1 is a 1. Profit target 1 is 13. My stop is 13. I'm taking that off of my DMM. I can take my target range off of my DMM also, and my time, range time, and my entry time. That's the next thing I'm going to show you. So my stop is 13 ticks, and then I'm just going to scroll down to entry time, 16:30:02. So in other words, I'm just creating a simple 4-second range. That's hard to believe. And then the trade type is a range trade. And we have a lot of different trades, setups that we can use. We have a breakout trade. We have a squeeze play, reversal trades, one-click range trade. Our new software is going to have a trade called an earnings trade. So there are going to be some nice updates to the new software. Now I'm going to label my trade, and sometimes I will label the trade because with Ninjatrader, you have the opportunity to trade more than one instrument at the same time. So I could trade regular size oil, or I could trade micro oil also if I wanted to. Two different instruments. So I like to label my trade because when I'm done setting up, when I click our enable button, which is this button here, it will set the trade so it's ready to go, okay? And the key is that tells me when I click that button that I'm going to have a trade that's going to trigger at the time that I specified. Now, to show you that my software can draw a range, and here's the interesting thing. What if I wanted a range that started at 4 o'clock? Do I have to sit in front of my computer the whole day to watch that? No. Watch what happens. It started calculating the range at 4 o'clock. Okay, so you can have a range starting from any time, and you just have to be here for when the range ends, and it puts your orders on the chart. And the idea is, remember what we picked before? We picked 3 ticks above the range and 3 ticks below the range. So this line above the range, that's where my long order is going to be. This line below the range is where my short order is going to be. And I can tell you right now, the market is very thin, very thin. Price is not moving. Today is not a day, in my opinion, to risk real money. I would not ask my family to risk real money. But before I make a 100% decision, let me set the trade back up because I was changing time to show you something. So to change my time, remember, I have a short range, not a 4 o'clock range, 4-second range, 16:29:58 is the beginning of my range. So we're not going to see it draw yet. We're only going to see it 4 seconds before my range triggers and the software, the news comes out. We're only creating a 4-second range, okay? So one of the determining factors is, what is the liquidity looking like? How many orders are available? Now I want to change my connection and go into my non-family money account also, because this is not a family money trade today. If I were going to trade it live, I want to be in the right account. So I changed accounts. I'm just going to triple check my setup. 3 ticks above the range, 3 ticks below the range, draw the range. I have 1 target, 1 position, 1 target for 13 ticks, a 13-tick stop. And then I have 2 times. 16:29:58 is my range start time, and my entry time is 16:30:02. And I just need to make sure if I'm going to trade sim or live, I can choose the account. Let's look at the liquidity real quick. That will tell us, give us a ballpark if there's many orders available this time of day. Now, this is a very low liquidity time of day. Now, there's a couple of warning signs that you have. Candles that aren't fully formed, okay? That's always a heads up. Now, you could say, hey, Lee, you're on a 30-second chart. You'll get better candles on a 1-minute chart, and that there is truth to that. So let's go to the 1-minute chart. But even on the 1-minute chart, we are seeing unformed candles, which is a liquidity warning. And you've only got a very small amount of orders, folks. 12 orders at our current price, 15 orders at another price below by one tick. This is not a trading risk that anybody should really take. So I don't want to throw away my company's money. Everybody knows that I'm always willing to trade live because I do it every day in the trade room. But I don't like throwing our money away when it's risky. So the goal here was to show you how the software can help us. It helps me to pick the range. I can determine exactly when I want to trade. I can determine a ballpark risk. And I always say a ballpark risk because, let's be truthful, software markets that are ultra explosive can burst through a stop. They can burst through a target. They can give you extra profit. They can take away a little bit of extra money also. But no matter what, our software has a stop that helps to protect us if a trade goes wrong. There's also, remember, we put a target in, and our software sets us up so that I'm relaxed. I know that in a couple of minutes, not even in a minute and a half, my software is going to put the range on the screen. You're going to see it because usually this trade takes a few seconds to fill. It's going to put the range on the screen if everything's going perfectly, which it should. And we're going to get an opportunity to see the range draw for a very brief second. I'm just ballparking my settings real quick. And there's my range. And we're going to wait for it to draw. Now, my range is early today because I put it on early because I wanted everybody to see the range. Normally, it would just be 4 seconds. There's absolutely no movement in price. We've watched oil since we've been watching. It's moved about 3 to 5 ticks. Now, granted, the report may create a move in oil. It's possible. But the risk of taking this trade when there's nothing happening in the market means that you could get bad fills. You could get fills that you don't expect at the wrong price. It's definitely, there's the range now. Now, when the news comes out, usually there will be some sort of a burst in the price. On our daily report, it says wait at least a minute to a minute and a half before you cancel the trade. I can cancel this trade. Now, I think maybe the news is out. You're seeing a response, but it's so muted. And it's so muted there. The news just came out, in my opinion. See, there was a little tiny burst, but it's so muted today and such poor behavior. There's no question in my mind that we made the proper decision. It put us in the market, okay? When it burst down, you couldn't even see that burst with the naked eye. I'm short the market 1 contract, and now if we're wrong and the news actually hasn't come out, there might still be another bigger burst, but I believe because the markets are holiday markets, that was it. that was the news, because it's usually out by now. And I bet you're wondering, well, why the heck don't you know when the news comes out? What's wrong with you? You're a news trader. Well, this is a unique trade also. It's one of the only trades that we trade where the news is private and it's not released to the public for 5 minutes after the news actually comes out. However, we've been trading this report for so many years. I know that it's going to affect the market immediately, even though the news doesn't appear publicly for 5 minutes. We subscribe to a website called Financial Juice Pro. It's a news trader's helper, because somehow they get the news. Not always. Sometimes they get the API news, and sometimes they know what that API news is going to be. Now, they knew what the expected news, there it is. They just got the news that there was a drawdown, and what that means is there was less oil used, than what was expected. They were expecting a bigger amount to be used. That possibly caused oil to go up in price a little bit. But the point is, folks, our experience, and I'm not bragging, but my experience, my knowledge, my ability to do this every day over and over and over protected me from a possible losing trade. I could have taken this trade live to be a big shot, to prove that I'm not afraid, but I took the harder decision, which was, listen, I'm going to look like a baby and not take the live trade. But my knowledge has probably protected me from a losing trade. You can see we got popped down and it put me in the market short, but the news came out and there was a little bit more oil used than expected. So if more is used, there's less around, and that might cause the price to go up a little bit. And that's what we're seeing. But overall, folks, what we're seeing is nothingness. And this was a nothingness trade, a nothingness move. This is not the behavior that this trade usually does. It usually moves 10, 20, 30 ticks. Holiday trading. I wanted to show you how excellent the software is at protecting us, at working. It has my orders, my targets are sitting right there. If we were lucky enough to have a good move, it could hit my targets, okay? But you could see it's just barely doing anything. And it's a very slow market. Also, there's something else we know about this report. If this report fills you with no conviction, you should probably close out the move and enter the market on the other side. So now I don't have a trade set up to do that because I wasn't really planning to show a full-blown trade, but let's assume I had that trade set up. If we were going to stay here and watch, my gut feeling is there's a possibility the oil market closes at 5 p.m. today. We're not going to stay here very long to prove the point, but there is a possibility, because of the way this report worked, that the price will probably move up, okay? A little bit. It's probably not going to move that much because it's holiday trading. But if you want to make a note, I entered at 76.13. You can check me later to see if I was right and if whether this trade moves up, okay? I'm going to close it out. I wanted to show you how the software works. Our software, to me, is one of the best things that I ever did when I got to the company. And what were we called? We were called JOBB when I got here. J. Offner Bracket Breakout is what the company name stood for. We changed our name to the News Traders for a while, not because we were worried about people that complained about us or anything, but we were just looking for the perfect name. And then a couple of years ago, we found what we felt was the perfect name for us 10-minute trades. We probably should have called it 10-second trades, but many of the trades do take 3 to 5 minutes. Almost every trade we take is less than 10 minutes, and it truly defines exactly what we do. So why did the crude report even move a little bit? It moved a little bit because the news said that there was a little bit less oil around than expected. That's why I believe that if anything, the price might go up. If there's less of something around, the concept is it might make the price go up rather than down. More demand drives price, okay? So most of these trades take 10 minutes or less. An event happens, news, earnings, market opens, end of day, and the market moves, and you're in and out of a trade very quickly. Let me show you our trade of the year, okay? I wasn't going to show any trades at all today, but just to show you an idea of a trade that moves, okay? Our trade of the year, and it's coming up again in less than 2 weeks, quarterly grains with WASD. So this is a grain report. My orders are on the chart. I'm trading live, real money. Noon, this is a noon report. If you work a day job and you get a lunch break, you could trade this report on your lunch break with us in a quiet office somewhere on your laptop. The news comes out. It was an incredibly explosive news, explosive move in the corn futures. That was a $2,000 trade in seconds. But the key that I wanted to show you was our software takes the worry out of trading a fast moving event. It semi-automates the trade by putting my orders on the chart automatically based on time that I enter into the software. There's my orders. They show up. I'm just sitting and watching. I'm waiting. My targets are on the chart. My stops are on the chart. It hits my targets and it pays me over $2,000. That was our trade of the year because it was awesome. It was fast, no heat. It was a beautiful trade. That is the perfect concept of an event happens, the news takes place, the market moves, and you're in and out of the trade very quickly. Okay, that's how it works. Those events, they're based on trade triggers, GDP reports, earnings reports, CPI reports, oil inventory. Those are trade triggers that have the highest probability of moving the market and thus the highest probability of resulting in a successful trade. So if you're an emotional trader, right, the crux of today's, the focus of today's event is the software. So if you're an emotional trader, and who isn't? Who doesn't worry about losing and losing again and again, right? You lose one, you're afraid to lose another. You know, you let your fear overcome everything. You lose money because of emotional trading. You overtrade. You just revenge trade. Wouldn't it be better to have preset objective trading rules that reduce your stress level and helps you to trade the market clearly? Emotional trading wipes out accounts. We all know it. We've all seen it. We've all done it. We're bombarded with so much conflicting information. You know, you've got CNBC and Kramer and Twitter and, you know, investing.com, everything just shooting information at us nonstop. But our software places the entries, exits, stops, targets, brackets, and it leaves us able to trade without the worry of manually placing all the orders, all the exits, all the stops, trailing manually. It makes it much easier to semi-automate. Our JOBB software is a custom strategy add-on to Ninjatrader. So it plugs into Ninjatrader. It acts just like it's part of Ninjatrader. It installs into the program, and it seems like it is a piece of Ninjatrader. It has multiple setups, like I explained. We can trade a reversal trade. We could trade earnings trades. And look, folks, many of our trades are discretionary. They're not all just based on time. There are times when you want to have a tool that lets you put orders on the chart when you want to put them on there at the time that you want manually. there, as you get more and more experienced, you become able to deal with the fact that you can do things in a discretionary way. And our software absolutely can trade discretionary. You can trade a reversal trade. You know, a reversal trade, you have to put that trade on when you think is the right time for that trade to go on. Now, you know, I wasn't planning on, I want to be honest, I wasn't planning to do the same thing that I do in every webinar today. You know, show you a million winning trades, but I think it might be helpful. Let me show you a reversal trade so you can get an idea what I mean about putting on a trade that's not what's the word, automated. Okay, or you know what, I'll pull an earnings trade because it's quicker and easier to find it. Let me find a quick Facebook trade. Our recent Facebook trade looked pretty good. It was interesting. So here's Facebook. Give me 2 seconds. Let's try this. Okay. And I don't know if this was a winner or loser. It doesn't matter. I want to show you the way our software dealt with it. So this is different than an automated trade. It's not totally automated. Our software put these X's on the chart. Those X's are the entry into the market if the market explodes after Facebook's earnings come out. So I can manually manipulate these orders. I can move them up and down on the chart like I'm doing there. Bring the price closer to the current price. And then Facebook earnings came out. It went through my orders and it made me a quick profit. So the point is, our software can be, you could trade anything at that with that methodology. You could trade a market open, you could trade a time of day that you like to trade, that you've seen a market move. That's considered discretionary because it's not automated and you don't have to have a specific event. We do use specific events because that's our DNA, but you can use our software to still automate your targets, your stops, but you could do your entries manually. And again, it's a super ATM. It lets you create the stops. It lets you use trailing stops if you want. So that's what I mean by a super ATM. You don't have to learn a programming language to get your trade managed, okay? And that's a big plus of the software. So we've always called it the equalizer, right? That's like our like pet name for the software. It helps to reduce the fear, the greed. It helps to protect us from ourselves. Setting entries and exits, as I showed you, you can automatically set stops and targets. You can bracket a trade. You can create a range trade. You can use zones to create a trade. All sorts of methodologies, trade setups that our software supports. And the main thing is it helps to reduce fear and worry because it does most of the trade management without you having to do it. Start with our settings as a baseline, and then you can follow along in the trade room or practice and know how to adjust your trade as the trade takes place. When the markets change, you can tweak the settings just by changing the numbers that I was showing you. And you can change what the time of a trade. You could change the size of the bracket. If you think the market is very volatile, you could make your bracket larger. So there's all sorts of things you can do with the software that will help you to be more successful in a trade. We do still have a version for Ninjatrader 7. However, I would say it's been such a long time that we've even updated the software for Ninja 7. I would strictly go with 8 at this point in time because Ninjatrader is not really paying much attention to Ninjatrader 7 anymore either. but Ninjatrader 8 is a really nice trading platform, and the software works really well with it. Obviously, it's been the culmination of thousands of hours of live trading. We've invested tens of thousands of dollars in real money to test and perfect the software. We've invested specifically over $7,662 since 2012 to help us reduce human error. We feel that there's no software that does what our software does for appointment-based trading. I've looked, I've never seen anything like it for futures anywhere. It's easy to customize the settings and the main things that it deals with: less mistakes, less anxiety, more consistency, more confidence, faster to learn how to trade, and better results. I've given you a live demonstration, the API report. That was the daily trade report, and the daily trade reports are a critical key to everything that we do. So just to briefly go over again, the types of setups in the software: earnings trades, discretionary trades, the squeeze play, which uses the squeeze indicator for special after the news trades that we use, or momentum-based trades that you can do. We have a special reversal type trade that we call the trap trade. Reversals you can back test with our software. And then we have something called range trades, one-click range trades. So version 10 is coming out. There's a lot of new features, reducing a lot of confusion in some of the labeling, but there's actually the biggest part of version 10 is under the hood. It's something you can't see. We're working on error handling. Sometimes very fast markets create software errors that no matter what, you can't avoid. And we're just experimenting to see if there's new methodologies to reduce errors. Sometimes errors make you money, sometimes errors cost you money, but the point is errors scare people, and we want to reduce any errors if possible. Now, using our family money trade methodology, in 2021 in April, we made over $9,000 trading using our software. We're not counting money we made on earnings, not counting money we made on any of our other trades. That was just counting our family money trade since April. Now, I didn't want to show these screenshots because, folks, honestly, these screenshots are a little bit old. And I want to show you the newer screenshots. Let me see if I can get through these. I have to zoom through them, okay? Okay, so let me zoom through them, and let me show you a couple of real, very current screenshots from our current members. Give me a second, and I'll pull them out. So now, and some of those previous screenshots are awesome too. People have made mega thousands of dollars trading with us. People make money trading in our trade room, and the proof is the screenshots that they send us. This was a grain report. One of our members made $580, and you could see that he made money. Look at that candle. How could you not make money trading that candle? Even if you had slippage, would people complain about? The slippage would, maybe there would be some ticks of slippage, but the move is so big that once you overcome the slippage, you still have possibility for a very nice profit. So I promised I wasn't going to do the same old thing that I always do. So just one other screenshot. And Wally happens to be in this room right now. I see him. So Wally, thank you so much for sending me this screenshot. This was in October. He traded 2 instruments at once on the JOBS report. And Wally, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was my understanding you made $1,237 trading gold and bonds in October on the JOBS report. And that was awesome. That was real screenshots from a real member who's in the room today. And he's staying correct. And he's in the room today because he's done well trading with us. And I'm guessing he wants to see what we're offering, what the deal is maybe that we're going to offer. Or maybe he just likes me. I don't know. But so who doesn't love a great deal, right? We're having our end of the year, for us, it's a celebration. It's fun. It's our end of the year software sale. We just had a great sale. Our Christmas sale, and we're having a New Year's sale because look, it's that time of year. We have to do it. We love bringing new people on board, having more and more people to trade with. So here's what we're doing for this holiday season. A full year license of the JOBB software. If you haven't seen our emails, our pricing is going up next year. The current price is $9.95, and in a week it's going up. For a year it's going up to $14.97, and a lifetime price on our software is $29.97. And I'm telling you the truth, people pay it. Okay, it's not a price that we make up just so that we could run a sale and make you think that you're getting a great deal. People pay us that much money to buy a license for the software or to rent it for a year. So here's what you get in our sale: a 1-year license, which is worth $14.97, 3 months of the trade room, which is worth $8.97. The new price is $2.97 on the trade room. 3 months of our daily market movers. They are definitely going up next year. That's at the old price of $49 a month. And then a bonus, we'll throw in an extra month of the DMM and the Pro Trade Room, okay, for the first 10 people that sign up today. And we are really sticking to it. The first 10 people will get an extra month of the trade room and the reports. You'll also get to take place in the personalized onboarding group class session. That's a fancy way of saying we're going to have another quick start. We had a quick start a month and a half ago, but they're making me do another quick start because we have so many new people. So this will probably be next week. We're going to have a quick start, just getting everybody set and getting everybody going with the software, the trade room, etc. We'll include that for the first 10 people. The earnings masterclass will be included also. That earnings masterclass is coming up because we're going to do it right before the next earnings cycle so that people can take advantage of the earnings trades, because it's a different methodology. It's a little bit not trickier, but it's just different. You got to practice to do it. So it's a lot of bonuses. And the total value of that is over $3,700. It's a great deal. And folks, we're just charging $497. It's a year of license for the software. www.prosper2022.com. If you're a current member and you're getting ready to expire, this is a great opportunity to keep your price low. When our prices go up next year, they are truly being raised. We've been too cheap for too long. Now, if you take us up on that opportunity, the $497, you'll also be able to upgrade to lifetime software with all the bonuses. Here's what you're going to get. Lifetime software license, which is going to be $29.97 on the website. Right now it's $19.97, going up in a week. 12 months of the trade room, a $3,588 value. 12 months of the daily market movers. Currently that's a $588 value, definitely going up next year. And again, the bonuses, the onboard training, $399 value, the boning masterclass, and there's 3 extra bonuses. All right, everybody loves these crazy bonuses. So the prosperity bonus package includes the WASD masterclass lifetime access. These are classes we're not leaving up for free. We're going to be selling them. Okay, the WASD masterclass, the $29.99 value, the US Jobs masterclass. This is the amount of money we made on those trades last year. Okay, it's not dollar value we're picking out of the air. The US Jobs, a $3,069 value. Next year, it might be an $8,000 value. Maybe it'll be a $1,500 value. But the point is, this year, it was a $3,069 value. And for the first 10 people today only, I'm not doing this for everybody that signs up, a 30-minute private coaching call with Eric or me Jay, if we can get him. Jay's real busy in the military. A 30-minute private call. I didn't put a value on that, okay? Because I don't know how to value that, honestly. And I don't want to brag and say it's worth a lot, but it's worth something to talk to the horse's mouth about this type of trading. And I'm dead serious. It's only the first 10. So the value of all this is $12,164. And to get that lifetime upgrade is an additional $496. So to be clear, you take us up on the original sale for $497, 3 months in the trade room, 3 months of the DMMs, a year of software, $497, www.prosper2022.com. That's our quote unquote end of the year sale. When you enter and buy that sale, our software gives you the opportunity to upgrade for $496. That will give you a lifetime license of the software. We only ever offer that. If we offer it again, it will not be for another year at the least. Okay, we're not offering lifetime software in the middle of the season, in the middle of the year. It's just not happening. So you're getting a $29.97 value for that software, and we'll up the trade room and the DMM for a full year. So for $496 and $497, a grand total of $993, you can get everything with all the bonuses. And I'll go over it again, of course, but it's a great deal. It's an end of the year sale, $993. Same link, www.prosper2022.com. You know, I think it's an awesome deal, folks. We don't, you know, we sell plenty during the year, but the end of the year is our big sale. It's really important to us. The company's growing. We're expanding. We're going to introduce new products. We'd love to introduce a new trading platform for our software. We're actively looking at other platforms besides Ninjatrader. And we're excited about 2022. I think it's going to be an awesome year. You know, we're willing to provide you with a lot of free education in all those bonuses, right? We're not asking for a fortune of money. Are you willing to invest, you know, $993 in yourself? This is not a subscription. It's a one-time investment. It will not auto-renew. It's a steal. Don't forget, read about it. On the order form, we have a 100% 6-month money-back action guarantee. Just follow the rules of our warranty guarantee. The details are on the order form before you give us your money. So read through it, please. This is an awesome New Year's sale, folks. $497, right, gets you a year's license for the software. It gets you 3 months in the trade room, 3 months of our daily reports, a whole bunch of those bonuses, right? www.prosper2022.com. Then for an additional $496, a total of $493. Let me go over everything you get one more time. We didn't do our slides. You know what? We're a small company, folks. We're not perfect. My slides could be better, but I want to show you exactly what you're getting. That $993 is giving you exactly a lifetime license of the software, and it's truly worth $29.97. 12 months of the daily market movers, 12 months of the trade room, the bonus startup class, the earnings master class, 3 more crazy bonuses, the WASD master class, which we're taking down. It's not staying up for free. US JOBS master class, which I think was the best master class I ever gave. I think it was really good and really helpful. And I think the most fun bonus is a 30-minute coaching call, but that's only to the first 10 people today. And I'm sticking to that because I just don't have a lot of time. I'm looking for new trade setups all the time. So just to zip over to where I was before. So why do traders love us? You know, first of all, they love our trade room. Our trade room is awesome. We have members that help in the trade room. Everybody takes part. We've got new trade room software that we started using this year. You know, there's so many exciting things that we have going on. One of our members made $825 on 2 of his own personal Facebook trades in our trade room. And he said the nicest thing. He made my day that day. He said, you know, you've helped me understand how the markets can work during news. I always like to take something and tweak it. I never knew earnings could be this interesting to trade. Before coming into 10-minute trades, I'd occasionally see the NQ move substantially shortly after the 4 p.m. hour, but I never knew why. And I really learned a lot from 10-minute trades. That's an awesome testimonial. And he meant it. He made money, and he's making money with us. That's Larry. Larry's still in our trade room. So if you have any questions, I'd like to answer them for you. I love that picture of my daughter and me. Does the JOBB software work on any other trading platform other than Ninjatrader? Not yet, okay? Keep in mind, futures. We don't trade stocks or options. This is futures trading, and you need to use the Ninjatrader platform, which is very reasonable to use. You can rent it. You can buy a lifetime license for them. Or 1 trade, 2 trades could pay for it. It's not a fortune. They rent it quarterly, annually. They have a couple of different options, www.ninjatrader.com. Right now, that's the platform that we require. How do you get help? During the regular trading year, which starts up again in January, we're in the trade room almost every day. We do a tremendous amount of tech support in the trade room. You can email us, help@10minutetrades.com. There's all sorts of videos up on our website as well, available for starting, okay? So there's a lot of help available. If you still can't get going, get a hold of me on email, help@10minutetrades.com, and I will make a personal appointment, come into your computer, and we'll figure out what's going on. It doesn't happen that often, but every now and then. How much will future software upgrades cost? That's a trick question. They'll be free if you take us up on this offer. It's a lifetime license. Get it? No charge, not a penny. It's an unlimited license. Just fooling around. What if I'm already a member? Well, if you're already a member and you're getting, you know you're going to expire next year, our prices are going to be a lot higher. This is a fantastic opportunity to expand your time at awesome prices. So if you're a member, I would extend now while you have this opportunity. It's a good deal. It's fair. We've never been greedy. We've never charged $5,000 for our software for anything. I think that we're fair, we're transparent, we love our members, we love doing this, and it's absolutely fantastic, okay? www.prosper2022.com. This is it, folks. I think I've covered everything. I'm sure my boss is going to scream at me for forgetting something. I see a couple of people asking me questions on YouTube. Doesn't teaching diminish your own edge? You know, it's a great question, Damien, but no, I think that teaching makes me sharper, because if I make a mistake setting up my software in the trade room, one of you are jumping on me and telling me what to do, right? You're helping me. So no, I think teaching gives me an edge. All right. Now, so let me go through your questions. Everybody's got questions, which I welcome. And there's not a lot. Somebody is saying, wow, that's cheap. Thank you. And she happens to work for us. So that's okay. Thank you, Chantal. It is cheap. Chris, if you send me an email over at help@10minutetrades.com, I will help you with that. Chris is asking, if he's having trouble with his credit card, if we'd hold him a spot. You know, folks, we're not mean people. If you're having a problem, send me an email, help@10minutetrades.com. I'm like the most reasonable person that ever lived. Steve is asking, I'm a member. I don't remember if I'm lifetime. Steve, just send me an email at help@10minutetrades.com. I'll look it up for you. And we'll figure out what to do. And Larry says, teachers always learn more than their students. You know, Larry, that's a great comment. But you know what's also a great thing that we see? Students often make more money than the teacher makes in the trade room. That's something we see all the time. So, folks, if you're a member and your time is running out, this is an awesome time to extend your time. If you're new, this is a fantastic time to join up with us. Next year, we're starting a private Facebook group. We've got all sorts of exciting new things going on. We're expanding the company. You've seen a lot of more new advertising that we're doing. We're trying to move from a tiny company into like a boutique company. You know, we're not going to get so big that we forget what we're all about. Although, you know, I wouldn't mind it, but it's just not the nature of the trading business. But we're trying to add a better experience, better profits, better everything for our members, you know, just making the experience as great as possible. Everybody knows trading is hard. We want to make it as easy as possible. So for just $4.97, you can get started with our New Year's sale, 3 months of the trade room, 3 months of the DMM. A year's license to the software, www.prosper2022.com. But if you then take the bump up, we call it, for an additional $496, lifetime software, a year in the trade room, a year of the daily reports, and all the bonuses, the master classes, the earnings master class coming up, onboard trading, training, those master classes are coming down. The jobs masterclass, we're not keeping up free information forever. We are entitled to make a living from what we learn. So folks, I can't tell you how much fun I have doing these presentations. I do enjoy it. I love, you know, trying to convince new people to come and join us. I love having new people in the trade room. I want to wish everybody the happiest of New Year's. I hope you had nice Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, everything that you do, whatever it is that you do is fine by me. And I just wish everybody a great year for this coming year. We'd like you to spend it with us. Make a commitment. You know what? This is a commitment. It's not a 3-month routine. You got to give event trading. I believe that you should give event trading 6 months. So you can go through a good cycle, a bad cycle, go back to a good cycle. What if you sign up in a bad cycle and then you quit after, you know, a month and a half? You never get to experience that good cycle when you can't seem to do anything wrong. And there's nothing more fantastic than going through one of those. And I'm telling you, they happen often. It's the bad cycles are not more common than the good cycles. They're cycles, they rotate. So folks, get started with us, www.prosper. You know what? I forgot to do one thing. My boss wanted me to show you the website before I go. Let me show it to you. So you see all the deals you're going to get when you sign up. And I'll just show you what it's going to look like when you get there, so you know what to do. When you get there, there's the deal. It shows you the gift of all the classes. Scroll down. It's got all the bonuses. They're up there. You can play and watch the software sale. Then you put your data in, go to step 2. Okay. When you go to step 2, now you can upgrade right there for $496, and you get that lifetime license for the software. 12 months of the daily market movers at our old low price. They are going up. I'm telling you, they're going up. 12 months of the trade room. All the bonuses, just you'll see by scrolling a little bit. It's an awesome deal, folks. Grand total, $993 if you want everything. If you just can't deal with everything, you know, we understand. We'd still love you if you come in just for $497. That's a lot of money. And, you know, we take that investment in our trust seriously, okay? We take it seriously. So, folks, www.prosper2022.com. I hope you all have a great new year. And if you have questions, email me at help@10minutetrades.com. And you know, we always say at 10-minute trades, I'll see you in the trade room. Cliff, thank you so much. Here's to great trading in 2022 as well. And I'll see everybody in the trade room. Good night, folks.